Darby McDevitt, the narrative director for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, who has also served as a writer on the series in various entries in the past, has left Ubisoft, with plenty of people saying that it marks the end of an era. This was about a week ago, and I wasn't initially going to do a video on this in any capacity, but a handful of people have asked me to do a video giving my thoughts, and so I thought, what harm could it do? So on the 26th of March 2021, which was the end of last month, Darby McDevitt put out this tweet. "Today is my last day at Ubisoft Montreal. After a decade of working with brilliant people, creating stories and characters for an incredible series, and interacting with our wonderful fans, I have decided to set forth on a new adventure. A special thanks to all the fans and content creators that have supported and expanded on our work over the years. Thank you for your kind attention. You have my deepest respect and admiration. It has been the honour of a lifetime to get to know so many of you." And now his Twitter account states that he is currently the narrative director or a narrative director at Illogica. Now, I didn't know much about this company, but as it turns out, they're a Montreal indie studio that was created in 2009 by a team of video game developers who have worked at companies such as Behaviour Interactive, Eidos Montreal, and Ubisoft. The studio is apparently known for multi-platform development, creative use of new technologies, and a variety of projects, and that the studio has developed more than 30 games for its clients and worked on its own projects as well. It seems they work on their own games and also function as something of an outsource, having worked on a couple of Ubisoft titles, one example being Hyperscape, but like I said, they make their own games as well. Apparently they released their own game Siberia in 2018. Sorry if I got that pronunciation wrong. It's a bit of a weird word and my head does not like weird words. I've googled it and now it's showing me loads of pictures of Siberia. Please don't make me go back. Apparently they will be launching their own multiplayer mobile game in 2021 and are currently developing a second exciting console game as well, which is more than likely what Darby McDevitt is now the narrative director of, if I were to put my money on something. I've got nothing but nice things to say about Darby McDevitt. I really do enjoy his writing. The quality of his writing is one of the things in Valhalla that certainly is there. It's one of the things that I really like about the game, as his writing has also blown me away in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Revelations. Dare I say Revelations being one of the best narratives in a game that I've ever experienced. Perhaps that's bolstered a lot by what came before with Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. So I'm excited to see what Darby McDevitt is working on at Illogica, because his skill in writing stories is purely masterful. Before we get into the discussion that you may be watching this video to hear, which is likely what does this mean for Assassin's Creed going forward, I feel like we can't not talk about just what an amazing job of dealing with the community Darby McDevitt did in the marketing and the aftermath of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It was a horrible time for Assassin's Creed fans, it was a horrible time in general for a lot of Ubisoft employees, as several people from within the company, at all levels, including some of the cast members on previous games, met allegations of sexual misconduct, and as a result, the creative director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ashraf Ismail, lost his job, something that Ubisoft would hope that we'd forgotten about, but we haven't, because we can't. But in that time, Darby McDevitt remained a constant, always answering fans' questions on Twitter, always getting involved in discussions and trying to be as transparent as possible about this game. He essentially took on the role of the creative director in the absence of the creative director, at least as far as becoming the face of the online presence and marketing was concerned. In anticipation for the game's launch, he took time to answer people's questions, as many as he possibly could, and that effort didn't go unnoticed. And after the game was released, some people were satisfied with his game and he entertained discussion there. Others had critiques and he took those in his stride, interacting with the wider communities that surround Assassin's Creed, not just the people that Ubisoft is clearly marketing their games for these days. Darby understood Assassin's Creed as a universe and wanted to respect it, but he also understood Assassin's Creed fans and wanted to respect them too. So him leaving Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed behind is truly the mark of an end of an era. Now onto the question that you want an answer to, or at least you want my speculation to, or maybe you don't care and you've just stumbled across this video by accident, to which I say, well, hello. I noticed a lot of people commenting in response to the news that Darby McDevitt departed from Ubisoft Montreal, that Assassin's Creed is truly dead now. And I feel like a lot of those people need to come to terms with the unfortunate reality that Assassin's Creed the Assassin's Creed we used to love to play back a decade ago is dead now already. No matter which way you look at it, Odyssey and Valhalla have little to do with actually being Assassin's Creed in their narratives outside of the modern day. The assassins in Valhalla, the hidden ones, are there, but they're very much so diluted by the Viking fantasy, and so now we've just got period fantasies rather than Assassin's Creed games anyway. We know that Ubisoft does not want to make a niche Assassin's Creed title anymore. They want to make a mainstream AAA RPG period fantasy, but they'll ride the Assassin's Creed brand because that's what they know will generate the sales. Yes, despite being somewhat at a disconnect, Valhalla did at times understand the universe it was in, but who do you think was responsible for that? As you can imagine, a huge portion of it fell to Darby McDevitt. There will inevitably be others at Ubisoft who do work on Assassin's Creed still and understand the brand that they're working on, but those of note over the years have trickled out of the company for one reason or another, whether they were unhappy at Ubisoft, whether they just wanted to move on to something else. Some were sacked and some simply couldn't keep their hands to themselves and brutally buzzkilled their own careers. But there has to be some form of like-minded workforce behind these people of note, otherwise their ideas just wouldn't get anywhere. So to answer the question, how will Assassin's Creed be affected by the departure of Darby McDevitt? We may not get any Darby McDevitt stories anymore, but beyond that, it's probably not going to make much of a difference, because in the end of the day, the higher-ups at Ubisoft decide what gets into the game and what doesn't, and they've made it very obvious that they believe the money is in the mainstream, not the niche. I know it's a downer to hear, but I don't think anything's actually going to change on the Assassin's Creed front, because having developers and writers who understand the brand that they're working on isn't the issue. The issue goes much higher up the chain than that. But to bring the video back to Darby McDevitt, were he to watch this video, all I could say to him was, thank you. Your dedication to Assassin's Creed has been without fault, and I'm sure many of us will continue to enjoy the stories that you will tell in the future going forward, regardless of what it is you're doing, myself included. And there are my thoughts on that, for all who cared. If not, I have no idea why you're watching, but fair enough, I guess. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I see no point in dragging it out any further. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be super fantastic. If you want to check out my live streams, we've been having an absolute blast over on Twitch as well. There'll be a link in the description if you're interested. It's just a chill atmosphere to sit down and game, and we can have loads of discussions about all sorts, and I'm really loving it. So I 100% recommend checking that out if you wish to, of course. I'm currently doing my millionth replaythrough of the Ezio trilogy, my millionth replaythrough of the Mass Effect trilogy, and I'm also revisiting games such as Red Dead Redemption and Fable 3, so why not head on over? And with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point, but until next time, take care and goodbye.